everybody, Christina here from Creations with Christina. Going to do a card today using a couple different products from Stampin' Up. I am going to be using the file tab die. This is a set that comes with 2 file tabs. So you have 2 tabs that has a left or a right, depending on which way you turn it, a center, and then it also has a number 1, 2, 3 in it. So I'm going to use this tab right here with some crumb cake cardstock. I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and we are going to go ahead and die cut this. I'm using my magnetic platform and my very well loved acrylic plate. I'm going to put my die down onto my platform here and then my cardstock, and I just want to make sure I'm lined up on here. I don't need a big piece of cardstock. I'm not going to use the whole run of it. Alright, so I have my file tab cut out. What I'm going to do now is I have a piece of early espresso cardstock. This is cut at about 1 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. And I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm just going to go ahead and pull this blade section off. I want to use my rotary blade for the next part. So what you do is just pop that out. You pull it out of the tabs and then you bring in your rotary trimmer and you just pop those ends right in the top and the bottom. And then what you want to do is take your piece right in the center here where you cut, pull that out and flip it over so that the flat side is facing up. And inside my blade here I have the small scallop blade. So you just can take these in and out and put in the straight. There's a perforated and there's also a wavy blade. And what I'm going to do is I want to cut this piece of cardstock down to 1 inch so I give it a nice little wavy edge to it. So there we go. So now I have a nice little decorative edge on my cardstock there. Alright, so I already went ahead and stamped out my sentiment, and it's going to say with love on your birthday, and I went ahead and stamped that out using the ginormous alphabet rotary stamp, and this thing is fantastic. So I already have birthday set up in here. Basically you just roll it like any rotary stamp, you just roll it, and there are blank spots so you can leave sections blank. If you're doing more than one word, you can leave a blank one in between the words. So I already went ahead and cut those out, so just to save time for the video, but I used crumb cake ink for this. And I'm going to ink this up, and you want to take, especially for me because I'm kind of heavy-handed with the rotary stamps, is the ones that are blank, I'm just kind of wiping them off on the ends with the baby wipe so that it doesn't transfer onto my cardstock. And this just helps me stamp it out better because I was getting little blocks down the ends there, so, and I really didn't want those on my sentiment. So that's how I did that. While I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and punch out a heart using the new heart from the Itty Bitty Punches punch set. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch that out using the Very Vanilla. And we're going to set this aside and start putting our card together. My card base is a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. It's a standard A2 size card. And I have my little file tab here. And that's going to get adhered down right to my card front. So I'm just going to use some Tombow Mono for this. And I am going to just turn it sideways just to make it a little easier for me to see what I'm doing here, making sure that it's straight. It is a little bit crooked. There we go. And then I'm going to take my piece of early espresso that I cut out with the wavy, and we're going to have the wave down towards the bottom. And I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this down. But before I do that, I want to add some seam binding to this. So I have the crumb cake seam binding, and I am going to take my tape runner and just run a strip of tape right along the back. And I'm going to pull off a nice piece of this because I'm going to adhere it down to the back of this, and this will just help me so that I can tie it a little bit easier when it's on my card front. So I'm going to go ahead and add the adhesive now to the ribbon and try to get it onto the cardstock. Make sure that's straight, and then we'll adhere this down to our card front. just like so. And this is a little bit longer than my 5.5, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my scissors and trim that off. All right, so I trimmed that down, and now what I could do is go ahead and tie my bow on the front of my card. And I'm just gonna snip off a piece of this seam binding here. It probably cut way too much, but I wanted to make sure I had enough for my bow. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tie a bow right onto the front of this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I took a piece of linen thread that I just doubled up. I like to double up my linen thread because I just like that it has the 2 loops and tails on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap that around my seam binding and tie this into a bow as well. And then we'll just go ahead and trim these off. And then I'm ready to go ahead and start putting my sentiment down. I'm going to do with love on your birthday. So we're going to just do the with love on your birthday, just like so. So I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive on this as well. Alright, and then the next thing I want to do is I have the little heart that I punched out before, and we're going to go ahead and pop that up onto our card front using some dimensionals. So I am just going to cut off a little piece from here and add that to the back of my heart. Which I'll just center right up in my file tab. And then what I'm going to do is, the last thing I want to do is add a little bit of glitter to this. So I have my clear Wink of Stella, and I am just going to go ahead and add that right to that little heart. So it gives a nice little bit of glitter to it. And then the last thing I want to do is I'm going to round the corners using my corner rounder, and I'm just using my Project Life corner rounder. And that will be my card for today. The rotary stamp is a great thing, especially if you have sentiments that you want to do and you don't have the right stamps for it. So this is a great little piece to have in your collection to do stamps. And I could really like this card idea. It'd be great to even do for Father's Day. Change up the colors and the sentiment, and it'd be a great Father's Day card. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, the list of supplies are down below over on my blog if you want to check them out. And I will see everybody in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.